Overprotective Hiashi, Hinata's father takes on Naruto. Episode 11. It's all to blame, Hinata Fukuda. It wasn't for him to make a move on Hiashi. How could Hinata do it to this extent? Abominable. From today onwards, we will all be separated. Hinata Hiashi walked next to Hinata Fukuda. Hinata Fukuda, how's it going? Are you still satisfied with my treatment? Hinata Fukuda glared at Hinata indignantly. You forget your ancestors. No, I really respect the tradition. It's you. It's just taking advantage of the loophole in the ancestral rules. I'm just filling this loophole and eliminating them off. Hinata looked down. Very good, since everyone agrees, then, let's start now. Members of the Elder Order, please come up in turn, and I will carve you with the caged bird spell seal. The elders were reluctant, but under the eyes of many members of the branch, they had to walk towards the high platform. 1, 2. Hinata Hiashi was not polite. After condensing chakra in his hand, it was covered on the top of an elder's head, and with Hinata's movements, soon a spell mark appeared on the elder's forehead. The elder touched his forehead and felt very ashamed. It seems that I feel that I have suddenly changed from a superior person to a lower class. After a while, all the elders were depicted with the caged bird spell. There is no difference between them now and the members of the division below. Go down. The elders owed Hinata and walked off the high platform. Hinata looked down again. The first thing has been done, and the second thing is below. Although the concept of clan and division has been abolished, the elder group, the Hyuga Clan still needs, and the former elder members are still elders, but in addition, the previous division will also get the right to enter the elder group. As long as you meet the qualifications, you can apply. After the application, I will review it. The duty of the elder group is to assist the patriarch, as well as the family manager, to better manage the Hyuga Clan. Hinata Hayashi's words made the members of the elder group feel a little more restored, but the second half of the sentence made many members of the split family excited, especially those members who were strong, senior, and had made a lot of merits. After Hyuga Hayashi's reform like this, Hinata has no difference between the clan and the separate family. Only the difference in positions remains. And being able to enter the elder group will definitely be much better in terms of treatment than before. Third thing. Hinata Fukuda, send people to attack and kill the patriarch, and punish the crime. Immediately, Hinata Hayashi gestured to Hyuga Ryoyoshi. Hinata Ryoyoshi drew a sharp blade from the side. Poof. A knife that cut Hinata Fukuda's throat. Hinata Fukuda's eyes widened, staring at Hinata Hyuga deadly. If his eyes could kill, Hinata would probably have died countless times in Hyuga Fukuda's sight. But unfortunately, no. Hinata, since I have taken the position of Hyuga Patriarch, then everything I have considered is for Hyuga to become better, and I will always stand on the side of the interests of the whole clan. And if someone wants to stop me in the middle of this, for their own selfish interests, then Hinata Fukuda is his end. The clan meeting is over. Hinata Hayashi did 3 things. The concept of clan and division was abolished, the group of elders was rebuilt, and Hinata Fukuda was killed in front of everyone. After today, Hinata Hayashi's reputation in the Hyuga family will increase to a very high level. Those elders may be dissatisfied with Hinata. But they couldn't do anything with Hinata. Most of the people in the Hyuga family will support Hinata. And they were also stamped with the caged bird curse, and Hinata only needed one thought to make them die. They couldn't resist Hinata. The internal instability has not been completely eradicated, and there must be many people who hold grudges against me and are dissatisfied with me, but it is no harm, and the remaining people are difficult to find. And it doesn't do much harm. I'm talking about it when the time comes. Now it can basically be said that the Hyuga family has stabilized. Hinata Hayashi was very dissatisfied with the decision of the elders in the original book to let Hinata die for himself and pay for the life of the Cloud Shadow Messenger. And now, with the reform of the Council of Elders, it is no longer possible for such a thing to happen. Hinata Hayashi, in Hinata's house, will be a one-word existence. However, Hinata is only stable, it is not enough, it needs to become stronger. Otherwise, there is no way to face the pressure given by the ape flying sun. Hinata doesn't like Sarutobi Hinata. Husband, what's wrong? Good, it's all solved. Hinata Hayashi showed a smile, took Ryana Hinata's hand, and covered the other one on Ryana Hinata's lower abdomen. My beautiful wife and lovely daughter are waiting for me at home, how could I not succeed? And at this time, Hinata's changes also reached the ears of the major forces in Konoha. Episode 12, Hokage Building. Bluffing Shueiman showed a smile. The Hyuga family does have a lot of problems, but I didn't expect to be solved by Hinata so quickly, and when the Hyuga family stabilizes, the difficulty of Konoha's stability will be greatly reduced. It's a good thing. I can have a right hand like Hiashi, Konoha, and it will definitely get better and better. Opposite the oil girl Shirwei is Inuzuka Pa. Jiwei, what do you think? the oil girl Shirwei said, our oil girl clan, and your Inazuka clan, have been friendly with the Hinata clan since ancient times, and the fourth generation also intends for us to continue to unite. It becomes something like a pig-deer-butterfly. The stability of the Hyuga clan is a good thing for both of us. Inazuka Pa nodded. But I wonder how Hiashi views the relationship between the three of us, an equal ninja family, or just treating us as Hinata's vassals. Hiashi thinks that it will not be so short-sighted. We can unite with the Hyuga clan, naturally we can also unite with other families, and judging from Hayashi's attitude towards the separation of the family, he will not treat his allies too badly. Uchiha Station. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Uchiha Itachi, and after that, his gaze turned to Uchiha Makoto. At this moment, Makoto Uchiha's lower abdomen bulged slightly. A small life is being conceived. Sasuke Uchiha. Uchiha stared at Uchiha Makoto's lower abdomen, seriously. Father, will I have a younger brother or a sister? Uchiha Fugaku smiled and asked, Itachi, do you like a younger brother or a sister? Younger brother is more fun, younger sister can't bully. Sasuke Uchiha, who was not yet born. It's not certain yet, but whether it's a younger brother or a younger sister, you must protect him and not bully him. Uchiha nodded. Yes, father. Uchiha Fugaku looked outside, in the direction where the Hyuga clan was stationed. Hinata Hayashi, really a capable person, then decisively is to fundamentally solve the problem of the Hyuga family, even if there will be other troubles later, it will not hurt, and it will not shake the fundamentals. Uchiha Fugaku's face showed a sad expression. And the situation of the Uchiha family is much worse. It has been many years since Uchiha Fugaku succeeded to the position of patriarch, but he still does not fully control the Uchiha clan, not only such a thing as the elder group. Some young people with good strength will even unite to form their own small groups, and they do not very agree with the patriarch of Uchiha Fugaku. The people of the Uchiha family are all arrogant and excessive. This is a hidden danger for the Uchiha family. If you don't solve it, sooner or later, there will be a big problem. However, it is very difficult to solve. If I have the opportunity, I can ask Hiashi. I don't know what advice Hiashi can give me. An ordinary courtyard, but the people sitting in it are not ordinary. The 3 generations of Hokage who have abdicated, 8 flying sun / and one of Konoha's elders, Shimura Danzo. The 2 have been teammates since a long time ago, and once became rivals in the middle, and Sarutobi eventually won the trust of Senjukuma and got the position of the 3rd generation of Hokage. This made Shimura Danzo very dissatisfied. But what makes Shimura Danzo even more dissatisfied is that the 3rd generation does not have their own share, and the 4th generation is not themselves. A man who came out of thin air forcibly seized this position. Wei Feng Shui Men. For the Buofeng Shui Men, Shimura Danzo was very disgusted, and he was disgusted to the bone. When Danzo knew that he had no hope of obtaining the position of the 4th generation of Hokage, he adopted another strategy to support the Great Snake Pill, but unexpectedly, the Great Snake Pill also failed. And after that, he directly defected and fled Konoha. This makes Tuanzong very passive. Tuanzong is constantly trying to increase his strength and power, and the whole person becomes more and more extreme in this process, and his actions become more and more unscrupulous. Tuanzong glanced at the 8 flying sun on the opposite side. Hinata, have you heard about the Hyuga clan? I heard. Sarutobi nodded and said, Hinata Hayashi solved the instability of the Hyuga clan, but it relieved Konoha a lot of work, and you can pay less attention to them in the future. I don't think so. Danzo snorted coldly and said, the contradiction between the Hyuga clan and the separation of the family may be a bad thing for Hinata, but it is a good thing for Konoha, and this treatment of Hinata, what I see, is not stability, it's ambition. Ape Fei-ri raised his eyebrows slightly. Tuanzo, what do you mean? Hinata Hayashi has shown great ambition in this incident, and once Hinata's internal situation stabilizes, then Hinata Hayashi's eyes will look outside. A stable Hyuga clan will definitely not be satisfied with the current resources. They will continue to grab resources and gain power. Even, I suspect that Hinata, aiming at the position of the next Hokage. Once the people of the Hyuga clan become Hokage, Hinata, you know the result. Episode 13, Ape Fei-ri frowned. Danzo's inference is a scoundrel, but for a person with a character like Sarutobi Hinata, it is easy to be persuaded by such inferences, and moreover, Sarutobi Hinata believes in Danzo more than Hinata. In addition, apes flying to the sun are not without their own selfishness. You must not let someone from a large family become a Hokage. Neither Hinata nor Uchiha. Even if it's just coveting. Tuanzang's eyes narrowed slightly. With Watergate's personality, it is estimated that even if you realize this, you will not do anything to the Hyuga family. I think it is better for you to go and remind Watergate a little. Sarutobi nodded. I'll look for an opportunity. Then I will leave. Tuanzang walked out of the small courtyard of the Ape Flying Sun, glanced back, and the corners of his mouth curved slightly. Watergate wins hearts? When there is a real conflict of interests, how many people can grasp it? If you can't cut the sun, the Watergate will definitely not work. Let the chaos in Konoha come earlier. That's my chance. Danzo didn't know that the Nine-Tails Rebellion would occur in the future, and with the age of the wave Feng Shui men, if there was no accident, he could sit in the position of Hokage for decades. And for decades, Tuanzang can't wait. This change in Hinata gave Danzo an opportunity. A chance to muddy the water of Konoha. But it's just an opportunity. There are not many such opportunities, and the mentality that Tuanzang holds, that is, as long as there is a chance, try it, it is good to succeed, but if it cannot succeed, there is no loss for him. The current Tuanzang has not yet evolved into an olding product, but is just a stirring stick. Until the death of Feng Shui men. Whatever Tuanzang felt, it was his turn, but as a result, Ape Flying Sun Chopper chose himself to take the position again, completely strangling Tuanzang's hopes. Tuanzang once again evolved. This is also why, during the 12th Xiaoqiang exam, the big snake pill invaded Konoha, but Tuanzo did not make a move, but watched the reason why the Ape Flying Sun was killed, and even, it provided convenience for the big snake pill. For the Ape Flying Sun, Tuanzo also resented it to the bone. Hinata Hayashi sat in the study and seriously thought about the future plans of the Hyuga family. For the strength of the individual, Hinata is not worried. The hang-up system hung up for a full 25 years. And just the results of the first year have allowed Hinata Hayashi's strength to reach the elite upper shinobi and the shadow level. When the results of the second year are obtained, Hinata Hayashi feels that his strength will definitely be above the shadow level. However, the family cannot enjoy the convenience of the on-hook system for the time being. The coming rebellion of the Nine Tails. Uchiha's Night of Extermination. Cloud Shadow Emissary invaded Hinata. Orochimaru cooperated with Sand Shinobu to invade Konoha. Nagato invaded. These incidents will cause great damage, and without strength, they can only be reduced to fish. Hinata wrote a few words under the page in front of him. Industry, ninja, ninja. Hinata Hayashi drew a red line on the industry. At present, the industrial operation of the Hyuga family is in good condition. It is okay to continue to maintain it, there is no need to worry in a short period of time, and it is completely fine to support the consumption of the Hyuga family. After that, Hinata Hayashi looked at the word ninja. It's not realistic to raise the strength of everyone in the entire Hinata. The potential of ninjas is high. However, I can cultivate a part of the elite first. On the real battlefield, the existence of elites is often more effective than the number of people. After that, it's the ninja tool. The Hyuga clan has no psychic beasts, no ninja beasts, and the Oil Lady clan and the Inuzuka clan do have a good relationship, but after all, it is another family, and Hinata will not fully trust them. And they won't give Hinata what they live on. Ninja, can't speak, has no consciousness, and is most trustworthy. You can secretly buy a lot of explosive charms. Hinata Hayashi remembers that in the original work, Conan's explosive talisman is very popular. If it is not for Uchiha's ability to bring soil is too perverted, it is a space ability. For someone else, under Shao Nan's explosive charm, I am afraid that he would have already burped. In terms of elite ninjas, they can be cultivated in two parts. One is a solo Hyuga ninja. One is a ninja who teamed up with the oil girl, Inuzuka. In a short time, Hinata put together a plan. Ryoyoshi, go and call Uncle Guanming, and Hinata, I have something to talk to them. Yes. The current state of the elder group is more delicate. Some of the elders were dazed, and their status had changed too much, leaving them at a loss. Others simply fell into a state of self-defeat and self-abandonment, drunk and dreamed of death for days. Only a small number of people still performed the duties of elders. However, this state of affairs did not last long, and when all the applications of the new elders were submitted to Hinata Hayashi would reorganize and plan the elder group. Two figures appeared in front of Hinata. Hayashi-sama. Episode 14, Hinata nodded. Uncle Guang, what is the current situation of Hinata's industry? Who is in charge? Hinata replied, Hinata's industry is divided into three parts, one Konoha industry, which is mainly the shop operation of Konoha, and this part is managed by Hinata Harvest, part Ninja Quest, part I'm managing. There is also a part of the Hyuga family's property in the Land of Fire outside Konoha, which was previously managed by the people of the elder group and accounted for half of our Hinata's income. Hinata raised an eyebrow. These elders, who had already controlled half of Hinata's source of income, were not satisfied, and they wanted more power from themselves, which was too greedy. Well, now, not only has he failed to seize power from himself, but he has also lost his own. Uncle Light, the Konoha industry and the ninja mission side remain unchanged for the time being, and as for the Fire Country industry, I hope that I can personally manage it and hand it over to Hinata Ryoyoshi first. After that, Ryoyoshi will report to me. Hinata nodded. I'll arrange it, but I'm a little worried about the elders. Don't worry, now the elder group, you shouldn't dare to stop it. Even if the elder group wanted to do something, Hinata could stop it with just one thought, and the caged bird spell mark was engraved in their minds, not afraid that they would disobey. I'll go first. Goodbye Uncle Light. After Hinata left, Hinata looked at Hinata. Hinata, I have a more important task for you. Brother, please say. We Hyuga Clan, I carefully analyzed it, there are still too few people whose strength can take the table, and there are many shinobi, but the means are too single. Compared with those upper shinobi who really survived on the battlefield, it is still a little worse. Moreover, it is only our two brothers who have reached the elite upper ninja level. Therefore, I want to cultivate a batch. Hinata Hayashi paused for a moment and said, my idea is this, within Hinata, implement an elite plan and select the most talented from among Hinata's many people, after that, bring them together. But all Hinata's physical skills, ninjutsu, techniques, etc., can be taught all. Resources are fully supplied. After screening again and again, the strongest among them is selected. Form an elite squad. And the rest, the second group of personnel, is to cooperate with the Oil Girl and the Inuzuka family to form a joint team of 3 families, and I will consult with the Oil Girl and the Inuzuka family. You can plan for the first step first. Hinata's eyes lit up. Brother, this decision is good, our current strength is indeed a little unable to keep up, and there are often rumors outside that we are not worthy of being compared with the Uchiha clan. It's because we're younger, and we don't have members who are too good. It's not like the Uchiha family. Hinata nodded. That's right, our Hyuga clan is not bad, before our clan did not concentrate resources in this area, most of them entered the hands of the elder group and became resources for their enjoyment. Day difference, this matter will be left to you. Hinata straightened her chest. Brother, I will definitely do my best to do a good job. Hinata Hayashi watched Hinata's back disappear for a long time, before retracting his gaze. The Hyuga clan wants to compare with the Uchiha clan, but it's still a little worse. The ability of the White Eye lies more in reconnaissance, and the Riding Wheel Eye is better at fighting, and it will definitely be more brilliant. In addition, the promotion path of Kaleidoscope Chakra Eye is known to many people of the Uchiha clan, but there is no level similar to such a White Eye. Susanoo, and the magical ability of Kaleidoscope Chakra Eyes, these White Eyes do not have. Unless you can advance to the Reincarnation Eye. But the Reincarnation Eye requires a large tube of wood chakra. Hinata didn't know if she could get it. In the hang-up system, what exactly he can get, Hinata does not know until the results are out. But the rest of the Hyuga clan is almost impossible to raise the White Eye to the Reincarnation Eye. The White-Eyed family on the moon has synthesized reincarnated eyes. One is a purple reincarnation eye that combines countless white eyes. One is the golden reincarnation eye hidden in the temple. Also, the Atsuki people captured the blue reincarnation eye synthesized by the eye of the fireworks. Hinata raised her head and looked in the direction of the sky. If you have the opportunity to go to the moon, then you can try to snatch those 2 reincarnation eyes. And as for the people of the big tube of wooden houses, dare to rob my daughter's eyes? Can't kill you. The next day. There was a sound of footsteps. Ryoyoshi Hinata walked in. Hinata-sama, the carriage is ready. Okay, I'll be right here. Hinata walked towards the door. Today, it is the wedding of the 4th generation of Hokage, Bufeng Shuemen. Episode 15. It is not far from the residence of the Hyuga family to the wedding scene, and the carriage, one is a symbol of status, and the other is that the gifts prepared by the Hyuga family cannot be carried directly in the past. Phew. The carriage stopped. Hinata-sama, it's here. Good. Hinata got off the bus. The wedding scene of Bufeng Shuemen is the square in front of the Hokage building, which is not only a matter for Bufeng Shuemen and Uzumaki Joshinai, but also for the entire village. Hayashi. Bufeng Shuemen greeted him. Naruto-sama, Kushina, congratulations. Thank you. Naruto-sama, there are still many guests coming and going, I won't bother much, don't greet me, I'll just find a place to sit by myself, you go and entertain other guests. Okay, I've got a spot ready for you, right over there. A ninja came over. Hayashi-sama, please over here. Hinata nodded. Suddenly, Hinata glanced back. Vortex Joshinai, scientific name, fiery red pepper. At this moment, the lower abdomen is slightly raised. The corner of Hinata's eyes couldn't help but twitch. Naruto, this little bee cub is now in Joshinai's belly, what should I do if I suddenly have the urge to make him unable to get out? However, Hinata Hayashi finally held back. Now the strength of the wave feng shui gate is overwhelming the entire Konoha. Hinata Hayashi is not yet the opponent of wave feng shui men. Forget it, with me, Naruto, this little bee cub, will not be able to marry my daughter in his life, let him live. Hinata Hayashi remembers that the bond between Hinata and Naruto in the original book originally began when Hinata was bullied by several people, and Naruto jumped out and beat those people away. And such a thing, in this world, will not happen. Hinata no longer had the difference between the clan and the split family. Hinata is in the Hyuga clan, and all he gets is respect, not hatred. Lots of guests coming. Hinata Hayashi saw quite a few familiar faces. Kakashi was still a teenager at this time, with a silver hedgehog head, wearing a mask, expressionless. A pair of dead fish eyes looked around the situation blankly, and then found a corner to sit down. Of the 3 disciples of the Wave Feng Shui Gate, only Kakashi was left. At this point in time, most people thought that Obito was dead. But in fact, he is not dead, he is alive and well, and his strength has grown by leaps and bounds, but he has become a puppet of Uchiha and does not know it. Hinata looked to the other side. Ape Flying Sun Chop. At this time, the Ape Flying Sun Chop is already very old. In comparison, Tuanzong next to him still looks younger. While Hinata Hayashi is observing Danzo, Danzo is also observing Hinata. Hinata was surprised that he didn't see Jiraiya. As the master of Buofeng Shui Men, Zilai did not even attend Buofeng Shuimen's wedding. Even if he tracked down the big snake pill, until many years later, he didn't trace anything out. Soon, the official wedding ceremony officially began. Suddenly, Hinata Hayashi felt a strange gaze and quickly looked over. I saw Uchiha Fugaku. The tables of the two were in different positions, with a table spaced in between. Uchiha Fugaku Oki Hinata flashed a smile. Hinata smiled back. Retracting his gaze, Hinata frowned slightly. Now the relationship between Uchiha and the Hyuga clan is not good, what does this guy want to do? And at this time, Hinata Hayashi saw a paper ball that fell from the ninja passing by, just falling on his own footsteps, but this ninja, Hinata Hayashi did not know. Moreover, the state of this ninja is a little strange. Hinata picked up the paper ball and remained silent. Hayashi, if you don't mind, I want to talk to you. Hinata Hayashi looked at Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku nodded. This paper ball was left behind by the ninja controlled by Uchiha Fugaku. After hesitating for a while, Hinata nodded her head as well. Hinata Hayashi didn't know what Uchiha Fugaku wanted to do, but within the confines of Konoha, Uchiha Fugaku didn't dare to disadvantage him, the patriarch of Hinata, and now Hokage is a wave of wind and water. Moreover, Hinata is not afraid. Although Uchiha Fugaku has a kaleidoscope chakra eye, Hinata Hayashi knows some ways to deal with the kaleidoscope chakra eye. Hinata's strength is not weak. The wedding of Buofeng Shui Men and Uzumaki Gyoshinai lasted an entire afternoon. However, Uzumaki Gyoshinai went back very early, she was pregnant, and she had to rest more. Most of the time, it is the wave of Feng Shui Gate that is coping. Even if the wave Feng Shui Gate is a fire shadow, it is still poured with a lot of wine. Normally, such opportunities do not exist. Therefore, everyone works hard when pouring wine. Thank you so much for coming to my wedding. Thank you. I'll be here first today, and if there is any bad hospitality, I hope you will forgive me. Hinata walked out of the venue, got into the carriage first, and then stopped halfway, and on the other side, Uchiha Fugaku did the same. The two looked at each other. Go in 2 different directions. It wasn't until he was sure that none of his eyes were staring at him that he walked to the agreed place. A very ordinary woods. But very remote. Fugaku, are you looking for me for something? Uchiha Fugaku stepped forward a few steps and stopped 3 meters away from Hinata. To be honest, I'm here to ask. Episode 16, please? Hinata raised her eyebrows slightly. Yes. Uchiha Fugaku sighed and said, our situation in Uchiha is even worse than your Hinata situation before, and the members have very different opinions. In addition, the high level of Konoha is very distant towards us, and the civilians of Konoha, and even other ninja families, are also very distant towards us Uchiha. What Uchiha Fugaku said is what everyone can see. Hinata, I want to ask you how you calmed the internal strife of the Hyuga clan. Hinata Hayashi shook his head and said, Fugaku, my experience may not be suitable for you, and even if I really have a solution that can help you solve the problems of the Uchiha clan, then, what can I get? What do you want? Hinata Hayashi is tempted to say, I want your Sharingan. But Hinata knew that this was impossible. If it were an ordinary Sharingan, it would still be possible, but Uchiha Fugaku's kaleidoscope Sharingan, it would be impossible for Uchiha Fugaku to give it to Hinata. But ordinary chakra eyes, Hinata can't look at it. Hesitated. Hinata Hayashi said, I once thought about a question, what? The inheritance of the blood succession limit realm comes from the bloodline, so if 2 ninjas of different blood succession limit realms are combined, will the descendants born have 2 blood succession limits at the same time? For example, our Hinata's white eyes, and your Uchiha Sharingan. When the bloodline of our Hyuga clan fuses with the bloodline of your Uchiha clan, will this child have both white eyes and chakra eyes, or something else? Uchiha Fugaku's brows furrowed. Hiashi, what do you mean? I can give Fugaku some tricks to you, even, I can give you some information that you don't know, and I need your Uchiha clan to give me someone. Uchiha Fugaku fell silent. For bloodlines, the Uchiha family attaches great importance to it, but it is not without the case of the Uchiha clan intermarrying with foreigners, as is the case with Uchiha Izumi. Uchiha Izumi's mother is from the Uchiha clan, while his father is an ordinary civilian ninja. When his father died in the Ninetales Rebellion, Uchiha followed his mother back to the Uchiha clan's residence. I'm going to think about it. Good. The two separated and returned home separately. Hinata Hayashi's proposal to Uchiha Fugaku was not a temporary intention, but had been considered before. All the disputes in the Hokage world can be summed up as the happy time of the Atsuki family. Hinata, Uchiha, Uzumaki, Senju, Kagaya, and that group of guys on the moon. For the group of madmen of the Kagaya clan, Hinata Hayashi is not interested, the group of guys on the moon can't be reached for the time being, and Uchiha, Vortex, Senju, these three families all exist. To what extent can the different bloodlines fuse with the bloodlines of the Hyuga clan raise the white eye? Can it evolve to the reincarnation eye? Uchiha Fugaku returned home, his brows furrowed. Husband, what's wrong? Uchiha Fugaku stopped talking. Husband, do you have anything else to say to me? Uchiha hesitated for a moment and said, I went to meet with Hinata today, and he seems to know a lot about the situation of our Uchiha clan, and he has a way to deal with it. Isn't that a good thing? It's a good thing, but Hinata Hayashi made a request. What requirements? He wants us alone. What do you mean? Hinata Hayashi, he is no longer satisfied with the current white eyes, he wants to borrow the bloodline of our Uchiha clan and improve their white eyes. Mikoto Uchiha understood. Is it for us to make Uchiha clan and marry someone from their Hyuga clan? It's not someone from the Hyuga clan, it's Hyuga Hinata. Uchiha Fugaku said, because of the influence of the caged bird spell seal, only Hinata Hayashi is the best candidate. Uchiha Mikoto's brows furrowed. But Hinata Hayashi already has a wife, marrying Hinata Hayashi, isn't it without a name? Uchiha Fugaku nodded. That's right, but even if you marry someone else, there will be no wedding and fame, because the Konoha high level will not let Uchiha and Hinata unite. It can only be done in secret. Uchiha Mikoto showed a sad look. Uchiha Fugaku said, but I don't really need to do this, maybe soon I can think of a solution to Uchiha's problem myself. Husband, I'm sure you can. Uchiha Fumi did not reply, which was expected by Hinata. If he agreed so simply, it would not be Uchiha. The Uchiha family, but arrogant to the bone. Hinata Hayashi's conditions, they are not in a desperate situation, it is impossible to agree. But Hinata Hayashi is not in a hurry. A figure walked in. Ryoyoshi, now I give you a task. Episode 17, please say, my lord. Hinata Hayashi said, I need you to secretly buy ninja tools, mainly explosive charms. In addition, if you encounter ninja tools with special abilities, you can also buy them. I remember that there seem to be some descendants in the artisan village, and they may have good things in their hands. Hinata remembers that the founder of the craftsman village, Kiyoki, created several very good ninja tools that allow people to exert abilities that far exceed their current strength. The peacock double sword can send out the wind escape, as well as rebound the wind escape. Long and telescopic sword, can change shape, flexible like tentacles, short and medium distance, offensive and defensive. Infinite hull armor, which can absorb chakra. Lightsabers that can control metal. These ninja tools may not be much for elite ninjas, but for ordinary ninjas, they are very good ninjas, especially for ninjas of the Hyuga clan, they are a good means to supplement. The reason why the people of the craftsman village are not performing well is because they are facing Naruto and Era, and on the other hand, their own combat ability is too poor. Just like a child, even if he holds a sword, he will not be an adult's opponent. The people of the artisan village are really not suitable for fighting. Even if these ninja tools are made by their people. Hinata-sama, I see. Go down. Yes. Hinata looked at the stack of pages on the table. These are the applications. Hinata Hayashi's drastic reform of the elder group has made many people who have divided families see hope and enter the upper echelons of Hinata, which they did not dare to think of before. No one wants to give up this opportunity. Hinata flipped open a copy. It records the applicant's life and relationships in the family tree. Calculated by previous merits. The number of elders is set at 10. The previous elders can keep 5, and then choose 5 from these applicants who have divided the family. The Hyuga family, according to Hinata Hayashi's plan, embarked on a normal path, and without infighting, all the energy of the entire family can be focused on the development of the family. Hinata's elite training camp was ready, and nearly 30 members of the Hyuga clan were selected, all between the ages of 12 and 16. At this age, there is still more room for teachability. And if it is too small, it is too late in time. Hinata, I hope that these people can form combat effectiveness as soon as possible. After all, the Nine-Tails Rebellion is coming. The suppression of the Nine-Tails Rebellion relied on the strength of almost the 4 generations of Hokage alone, but in this riot, Konoha suffered not many losses, and countless deaths and injuries. And the ape Flying Sun Chop made a very bad choice. In order to retain Konoha's high-end combat power, Sarutobi Hinata made Kami Shinobu retreat and did not participate in the battle, but chose to let Naka Shinobu and Kami Shinobu resist the Nine Tails, at the cost of their lives. With the style of ape flying and slashing the sun, it will definitely not let the ape flying clan and the pig deer butterfly participate in the war. It's more for civilian ninjas, as well as people from other ninja families, to fill this hole. Therefore, I am afraid of Uchiha's chakra eye, and during the Nine-Tails Rebellion, the entire Uchiha clan is under the surveillance of the dark and root parts, and cannot leave the station. Otherwise, with the relationship between Uzumaki Shina and Mikoto Uchiha, Uchiha Fugaku will not be able to die against the wave Feng Shui Gate. It can be said that it was the ape Flying Sun's decision to kill Feng Shui men. After this battle, the major families, civilian ninjas, all suffered heavy losses. Only the Uchiha clan, because they were trapped in the Uchiha station, there was no loss. The opinions of the major families and commoners on the Uchiha clan will be further deepened. Even, under the guidance of some people, many people believe that the Nine Tails are controlled by people from the Uchiha clan. Hinata's eyes flickered. In this battle, ape Flying Sun Slash will definitely put pressure on the Hyuga clan. But I can't sit back and watch my people die in vain. A dark shadow appeared in the corner of Konoha, looking in the direction of the Hokage building. Teacher Watergate, long time no see. Don't blame me. If you want to blame, you can only blame the world. This unfair world. Feng Shui men seemed to sense something and looked out the window. But by this time, the shadow had disappeared. Kakashi frowned subconsciously. Why, I have a bad premonition? An undercurrent is slowly surging. Husband Kuan, it's time to rest. Ryona Hinata walked into the study. Hinata smiled. Good. The two returned to the bedroom. Husband Kuan, there are indeed a lot of things about the patriarch, but you should also pay attention to rest. For us Hyuga clan, your body is the most important thing. It'll be nice to wait until this time is over, soon. Hinata held Ryona's hand. The other hand covered Ryona's lower abdomen. Hinata's lower abdomen bulged even more. In 6 months, Hinata will be born. Episode 18, then, there are only 4 months left before Naruto was born. 4 months later, it's the Nine-Tails Rebellion. The night darkened. The two closed their eyes. In the darkness, there were some groping sounds. Husband Kuan. The next day, Hinata got up very early and refreshed. Brother, the elite training camp has already started training. Brother, do you want to go over and take a look? Good. Hinata nodded. With the existence of the hang-up system, Hinata will definitely be the strongest one in the Hyuga clan. However, a family still needs a part of the backbone. These ninjas trained by Hinata are the backbone of Hinata's plan. Not long after, the two arrived at a training ground. This is the territory of the Hyuga clan, and no one else can enter it. Hinata didn't want these things to be known to anyone other than Hinata. At present, except for Hinata, and the 30 people selected, the rest of the people do not know the situation of this training camp, even if they are the parents of these people selected. As soon as I entered, I saw 30 young girls. Even if there was no Hinata present, they were still training hard. Ahem. Hinata coughed dryly. Everyone stop, the clan elder is coming. 30 members hurriedly trotted to this side. I've seen the patriarch. Hinata bowed her head slightly. Everyone worked hard. However, everyone's hard work will not be in vain. The training camp is my plan. You are all personally selected by Hinata, and we are the most talented children of the younger generation. I believe that in the future, you will become our Hinata, the best talent. The whole of Hinata will be proud of you. Hinata Hayashi threw some inspirational chicken soup down, which is a necessary ability for a superior person. However, if the person in power will only throw chicken soup, draw cakes, and have nothing practical, then even if the people below believe you for a while, sooner or later, they will realize that something is wrong. In turn, there is an antipathy towards those in power. Therefore, Hinata will give them practical things. Better treatment. And higher status. A ninja, personally, pursues nothing more than that. Just like Tuanzong, why he bears countless insults and has to do those things, and also takes considerable risks, is because of Tuanzang's desire for power. Coveted for the position of Hokage. When Tsunade fell into a coma, Danzo finally seized the opportunity. Forcibly ascended to the position of the proxy Hokage. Originally, Danzo's idea was to perform well in the 5 Kage talks and win more benefits for Konoha, so that everyone in the village would have a chance to convince themselves. After returning to Konoha, the name of his own agent can be removed and turned into a real Hokage. But what Tuanzong didn't expect was that Mist Shadow Village actually had a white eye. Directly saw through the illusion induction that he used on Mifune using the Sharingan. So much so, the group hid in the position of the Hokage for a few days, and fled in embarrassment, and even met Sasuke Uchiha, and tried all his chakra eyes, but he couldn't take what Sasuke did. Even the trick of dying with himself, the technique of sealing the 4 elephants, also had no effect, and it became a suicide technique. The King of Konoha Pot, who successfully evolved into the King of Konoha. Even in the back, there are not even many who remember Tuanzong. Unlike the Big Snake Pill, the medicine master, even if he did more evil before, he is still alive and dashing. And the ape flying sun chop is also remembered. Time, little by little. Hinata Hayashi found that Konoha security had been much stronger recently. People in the dark part, people in the route, the site of secret surveillance, is becoming more and more numerous. Especially the direction of the Uchiha family station. This made Uchiha Fugaku very anxious. Bang! A teacup was smashed to the ground by Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku's face was extremely gloomy. Konoha is now more and more intolerant of us, guarding us like thieves? These people in the dark department don't even have a little cover-up. Next to him, Uchiha Makoto held Uchiha Fugaku's hand and said, "Fugaku, this should not mean Watergate. I met with Jyoshina a few days ago. Right now Watergate is busy with other things. When Watergate is busy for this time, it should be better. Watergate is not so hostile to us Yuzebo." Uchiha Fugaku frowned. Ape Flying Sun, this guy is no longer Hokage, does he still hold the authority of Hokage? Uchiha Fugaku sighed. In the current situation, Uchiha Fugaku is helpless. The Uchiha family, internal strife is constant, so Uchiha Fugaku simply can't spare energy to fight the pressure from outside. Outsiders must first settle inside. Uncontrollably, Uchiha Fugaku remembered Hinata's proposal again. Episode 19, 4 people sit together. Wave Feng Watergate, Uzumaki Jyoshinai, Ape Flying Sun Chopper, Ape Flying Lake Biwa. Jyoshinai's lower abdomen has bulged very high. Ape Flying Biwa Lake glanced at Jyoshinai, and then looked at the Watergate, and said, when Jyoshinai gave birth, it was when the seal of the 9 tails was the weakest, and during this time, there was an undercurrent surging in Konoha. I don't know if it's from inside the village or outside the village. Watergate, what countermeasures have you come up with? Woofing Shueman looked at Vortex Jyoshinai and took Vortex Jyoshinai's hand. I didn't announce the day when Jyoshinai was ready, and when it was really about to give birth, I would take Jyoshinai to the area on the edge of Konoha. This way you can keep others from knowing. In addition, I will stay next to Jyoshinai, and I have also learned a lot of sealing techniques from Jyoshinai. Even if the 9 tails break through the seal, as long as there is no other interference from others, I am sure and can handle it. After that, Woofing Shueman looked at the ape flying sun. 3rd generation Sama, if Konoha is here, please. Sarutobi nodded. I will, even if I am now retired, but my old bones can still come in handy. Danzo looked in the direction of the Hokage building, his eyes flickering. When the human pillar force is produced, it is when the seal is weakest. If it attacks Jyoshinai at this time, then the 9 tails will be released. The whole of Konoha will be in chaos. Tuanzong moved, but then dismissed the idea. The 9 tails chaos, it will not be me who will benefit the most, but someone else. Uchiha, or Hinata. There is no point in doing this. A month quietly passed. Unknowingly, the Wave Feng Shui Gate hid in a building on the edge of Konoha, and the only ones guarding it were the Wave Feng Shui Gate and the Ape Flying Lake Biwa. No third person knows. And Ape Flying Sun Chopper is sitting in the Hokage building. The ninjas of the Dark and Roots firmly monitored the station of the Uchiha clan and the station of the Hyuga clan, and neither family was trusted by the village. Hinata looked outside. Today, it is almost the day of Jyoshinai's birth, and the actions of the Dark and Root parts can almost be speculated, and Woofing Shueman is trying to hide this time. But the actions of Sarutobi Hinata and Shimura Danzo directly exposed it. And for Uchiha Obito, finding Jyoshinai is not a difficult thing. Hinata Hayashi had a plan. If the opportunity allowed, Hinata would save the Wave Wind Water Gate, so that Sarutobi Hinata would not rise to the throne again, and Konoha would not be so tight on Uchiha and Hinata. In the original book, Konoha is harsh on both Uchiha and Hinata. It's just that Hinata chose to be tolerant, so that it can always exist, but the strength is weakened by the most part. Uchiha, on the other hand, was exterminated. Only 2 or 3 kittens remained. The hang-up system has not yet cooled down, and with my current strength, I can't stop the death of the Wave Feng Shui men, and the Dark part and Root will not allow me to leave the Hyuga clan station at this time. Hinata sighed. For wave feng shui men, it is one of the few people in Konoha who Hinata does not dislike. Boom. A loud sound sounded. Hinata Hayashi looked in the direction where the voice came from. The rebellion of the Nine Tails has begun. This night, for Konoha, must be sleepless. A figure appeared at the door of Hinata's house. Hinata-sama, there are orders for 3 generations, and the Hyuga clan needs to go to the location of the Nine Tails immediately to resist the tailed beast. A hint of mockery appeared at the corner of Hinata's mouth. When there was no accident before, I was trying to guard against the Hyuga clan, but now that something happened, I wanted to let the people of the Hyuga clan go to die, and this ape flew to the sun, and it was really a good calculation. Why don't you let the people of the ape-flying clan go? Otherwise, the pig-deer butterfly goes? Got it, I'll send someone over. The messenger left, and Hinata looked into the corner to the side. Ryoyoshi. Hayashi-sama. Take those elders over, the meaning of the elder group, it should be reflected, they have enjoyed so many resources of the Hyuga clan, high above, now it is time for them to contribute to the Hyuga clan. Yes. Hinata not going to go in person. At all times, the safety of Hyuga Hinata is the most important thing for the Hyuga family. And Hinata Hayashi is worried that at this time, there will be some people, secretly, fishing in troubled waters for the Hinata family. Uchiha Fugaku also heard the noise. When I looked up, I saw the huge, fiery red fox. Uchiha Fugaku walked back and forth. No, I can't sit idly by and watch Watergate and Joshinai be in danger, I have to go over and help. However, Uchiha Fugaku had just taken a step out of Uchiha Station. A figure in the dark part is falling. Fugaku-sama, stop. 3 generations of adults have an order, tonight, no one from the Uchiha clan can lead the station for half a step. Otherwise, shoot. A wave of anger suddenly rushed to Uchiha Fugaku's heart. Episode 20, Uchiha Fugaku wanted to scold. Even, forcibly rush out. But Uchiha Fugaku thought of the consequences of rushing out, and reluctantly held back. Once Uchiha Fugaku and Konoha's ninja fight, then those restless members of the Uchiha clan will feel that Uchiha Fugaku thinks the same as theirs. They will rise up and attack. The entire clan will enter a state of fighting Konoha. After tonight either, the Uchiha clan overturned the Konoha high-rise. Or, the Uchiha clan, exterminated. The possibility of the latter is undoubtedly much greater. Uchiha's chakra eyes are certainly strong, but the ones that are really strong are only a few at the top. Ape flying sunslash. I want to help, but you doubt me? Uchiha Fugaku's face turned gloomy. This Konoha, there really is no place for my Uchiha clan. Uchiha Fugaku remembered Hinata's proposal. Compared to the survival of the entire family, face is nothing at all. The current Uchiha seems to be powerful, but it is just an illusion. Internal and external troubles may suffer at any time. Hinata. The members of the elder group reluctantly went to the frontal battlefield under the leadership of Hinata Ryoyoshi. The huge nine-tailed, with one claw, can easily destroy more than a dozen buildings. Ape-flying Lake Biwa is holding a small baby and is desperately dodging. Uzumaki Jyoshurnai lay on the bed with a very painful expression. Pain in childbirth. The pain of the nine tails breaking. And, unwilling to face their fate. Could it be that my child, just born, is going to lose his mother? One ninja after another, front and back, rushed towards the nine tails. Use your life to stop the destruction of Konoha by the nine tails. Ape-flying sun looked dead in the direction of the nine tails. Watergate, Kushinai, Lake Biwa. It must be safe. No one can stop the nine tails from raging. Even if it's a wave feng shui gate. After all, feng shui men is just a civilian ninja, and the upper limit of civilian ninjas will never be comparable to the bloodline of the Atsuki clan. And the appearance of Uchiha with soil caused great trouble for feng shui men. Uzumaki Jyoshunai gritted his teeth. Watergate, help me take care of Naruto. The next moment, Uzumaki Jyoshunai violently mobilized the chakra in his body. King Kong blockade. More than a dozen golden chains appeared from Uzumaki Jyoshunai's body, and after that, they suddenly shot towards the nine tails, entwining the nine tails to death, so that everyone ninja got a breather. Poof. However, Uzumaki Jyoshunai aggravated his injuries by forcibly using chakra. A large mouthful of blood spurted out. Jyoshunai. Uzumaki Watergate had to abandon Uchiha and return to Uzumaki Shinai. Jyoshunai. Uzumaki Jyoshunai desperately grabbed the hand of the wave feng shui gate. Watergate, we must let our child grow up smoothly, you have to tell her that I am not a good mother, I failed to take care of him, but I love him very much. Don't say such things, we will all live. Promise me. Okay, I promise. Uzumaki Jyoshunai showed a smile, and suddenly, the hand holding the wave feng shui gate let go. Hung down weakly. Breathing, heartbeat, stopping. Jioshinai. 2 lines of tears flowed from the eyes of both Feng Shui men. Abominable. With the death of Uzumaki Jioshinai, the King Kong blockade disappeared in an instant. The 9 tails regained mobility. Humph. Let's all die. An extremely strong chakra condensed in front of the 9 tails. Tailed beast Jade. Bang. An extremely strong sound sounded, the entire ground was shaking, and the position where the tailed beast Jade fell, within a few hundred meters, was all destroyed. Watergate, I can't do it. Ape Flying Lake Biwa rushed out of the chaos, and there was blood all over his forehead. Child. Poof. Ape Flying Lake Biwa fell to the ground, but before dying, Ape Flying Lake Biwa lifted the baby in his hand high and fell with no child. Biwako Sr. Wei Feng Shueimon took Naruto from the hands of Sarutobi Biwako. It's all because of you. So, you must live well. Bluffing Shueiman looked at the 9 tails, not far away. I'm afraid your mother and I won't be able to accompany you. But, we all love you. A fierce momentum erupted from the body of Bluffing Shueiman. Bluffing Shueiman made a certain decision. I am a husband, a father, and a Hokage. 9 tails, it's time for you to stop. In a flash, the Wave Feng Shui gate appeared in front of the 9 tails. Ghouls are sealed. A strange force appeared behind the 9 tails. The 9 tails felt a chill inexplicably. A huge figure appeared behind the 9 tails. Death. Immediately, half of the chakra of the 9 tails was devoured by the god of death. And at this time, the Wave Feng Shui gate, the 9-tailed chakra, who focused the other half's attention on the Shinigami, forcibly stuffed it into Naruto's body. For Elephant Seal. Gossip Seal. Using 2 sealing techniques, relying on Naruto's vortex physique, the 9 tails were firmly blocked. But at the same time, the Grim Reaper also came behind the Wave Feng Shui gate. The price of the Ghoul Seal is the soul of the spellcaster himself.